We have seen through the various change models we have looked at that the resistance to and reaction from the people involved are key to success. To examine this a little further, this presentation looks at the psychology of change. Industrial or organisational psychology is the study of human behaviour in the workplace, assessing individual, group and organisational dynamics to better understand and improve the well-being and performance of employees across all levels of the organisation. The aims of employing industrial psychologists might be to understand why employees behave as they do, individually and in groups, improve and optimise the quality of work life, understand how to build better work groups, better understand how to identify training and development needs, evaluate training programs, develop performance appraisal and evaluation criteria. If we want behaviour to change, to bring about our desired state, we have to make sure that the people involved are ready and motivated to change. This means we have to understand how they're thinking and how positive they feel about the proposed change. If they are negative and resistant to the change, we have to change their mindset to one of positivity so that they welcome or at least accept the change. McKinsey & Company posits there are 4 conditions for changing mindsets and putting them into practice. Fostering understanding and conviction, reinforcement systems, developing talent and skills, consistent role models. The 4 conditions are fulfilled independently, but together they change the attitudes and behaviour of those working in a company or organisation. 15 years after first proposing the 4 conditions, McKinsey & Company surveyed successful transformations and found they were 8 times more likely to use all 4 conditions as opposed to just 1. Let's take a look at these conditions in a little more detail. What do we mean by fostering understanding and conviction? The theory of cognitive dissonance posits that psychological stress and discomfort occurs when a person has conflicting attitudes, beliefs or behaviours. Cognitive dissonance can be eliminated by changing the attitudes, beliefs or behaviours that are conflicted and instead aligning them. During a transformation, change leaders can falsely assume that the reason for the change is clear, which results in insufficient communication behind the rationale for the proposed changes. The practical application of these concepts are: if employees believe in the change's overall purpose, then they're much more likely and will be happier to change their behaviour. The person or people leading the change must consider the narrative, for example, where the company is headed, why the change is worth undertaking, etc. This can then be justified to the employees so they can process what is being asked of them, to recognise the actions required from them and contribute with enthusiasm as they begin to feel more comfortable with the change. Such approaches work because congruence is thought between a person's actions and beliefs. People believe in the reason for the change, so they behave in a manner that supports it. The approach is dependent on the business, but organisations can also involve employees in transitions, allowing them to participate in business direction. When it comes to reinforcement systems, B.F. Skinner, the American psychologist, introduced the concept of operant conditioning, described as the process in which behaviour is modified via positive and negative reinforcement. Behaviour that is rewarded is more likely to be repeated, while it is less likely behaviour followed by unpleasant consequences will be. Skinner also introduced the term reinforcement. A behaviour that is reinforced or strengthened is more likely to be repeated than behaviour which is not reinforced. Research has found when a company's goals for improved behaviour are not reinforced, then it is likely employees will remain inconsistent and unmotivated. Whilst some behaviourists believe that once a behaviour is incorporated, it can be left to endure, this will not necessarily sustain higher performance. Within organisations, structures and procedures that at first condition or reinforce new behaviours are not a guarantee that said behaviour will endure. Employers must be consistent in performance measurement procedures, target setting, financial and non-financial rewards, etc., as well as management and operational processes. Applying these concepts works because the consequences of behaviour shape a person's future behaviour. If an organisation reinforces the correct things, it increases their chance of a successful change. Predictability makes reinforcement less effective, with intermittent reinforcement recommended. Successful organisations focus on what truly drives performance, such as purpose and collaboration. Developing talent and skills seems like a no-brainer. Surely everyone does it. Actually, in many change situations, employees are strongly encouraged to behave differently, but are not given the tools or skills to do so. Instead, they are expected to know how to modify routine instructions to their individual circumstances without training. Research produced by educational theorist David Kolb found adults cannot learn simply by receiving information. They must be given time to assimilate the information, engage with the information in a way that suits them best, integrate it with the knowledge they already have, and actively experiment. Further, research has found people can comprehend information more efficiently if they describe to others the application of new principles or information in their learning going forward. Applying these concepts provides a sense of control and proficiency, promoting an engaged and active effort to improve learning and increase performance. Additionally, technology provides more creative opportunities. It is not surprising that consistent role models are important. In any situation, whether it be as a child or adult, behaviour is reflected and modelled on those seen in positions of influence. This is not to mean that everyone in a single organisation will see the CEO as a role model simply because they carry the most power or influence. people at different levels. Functions or specialities will have different role models. Therefore, role models at every level must behave in a consistent manner if an organisation is to see changed behaviour. Those considered to be prominent influencers or role models must share similar underlying values if their behaviour is to be consistent. Change needs to feel essential to the key groups at each level of an organisation. Consider a well-respected senior leader being overheard complaining about the attempted changes leading to no results. Then consider overhearing an assistant manager saying something similar. Employees will feel less urgency in changing their behaviour. Providing consistent role models works because either consciously or unconsciously people mimic the individuals and groups who surround them. If surrounded by those who are a positive influence on an organisation, then similar behaviour and beliefs will be fostered. There were a lot of words in this presentation, but they were important words, demonstrating how knowledge of psychology and associated behaviours has practical application in the workplace and has real impact on the performance of the organisation.